The music industry loves a prodigy. They love the raw, unpolished talent of a teenager who captures the world's pain in a single melody. But behind the haunting vocals and the meteoric rise of the indie pop sensation known as D4VD, a darkness was festering that no platinum record could ever cover up. We aren't talking about a simple PR scandal or a leaked track. We are talking about a calculated, cold-blooded descent into depravity that has left the industry paralyzed. When the body of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez was discovered dismembered and decomposing in the front trunk of a Tesla, the facade of Hollywood glamour didn't just crack, it shattered. This wasn't a tragic accident. It was a meticulously planned silencing of a child who knew too much. A child who was allegedly carrying a secret that would have ended a multi-million-dollar career before it even truly began. This is the story of a star who chose a chainsaw over the truth. To understand the magnitude of this horror, you have to look at the man the world thought they knew. David, known to millions as D4VD, was the poster child for the new age of music. Creative, mysterious, and seemingly sensitive. But prosecutors are now painting a portrait of a predator who began his hunt when his victim was just 11 years old. While his fans were streaming his hits, David was allegedly grooming a child. By the time Celeste was 13, she wasn't just a fan. She was trapped in an adult relationship with a man who had the world at his feet. The power imbalance was staggering. On one side, a recording artist with a label and a global platform. On the other, a middle school student from Lake Eleanor. How does a global star go from the main stage to a holding cell? The timeline of their secret world is a roadmap of manipulation and missed warnings. Even when law enforcement caught wind of the relationship and contacted David, he didn't back away. He doubled down. When Celeste's parents took her phone in a desperate attempt to save their daughter, David allegedly paid off one of her classmates $1,000 just to sneak a new device into her hands. Think about that for a moment. A grown man, a professional artist with a record deal, bribing a junior high student to maintain a digital lifeline to a minor. It was an obsession that defied every warning and every law. But as Celeste grew older, the dynamic shifted from control to crisis. She wasn't just a secret anymore. She was a liability. The tension reached a breaking point in late 2024. Leaked messages from Discord and private texts tell a story of a young girl tired of being hidden in the shadows of a celebrity's ego. Celeste was reportedly struggling with jealousy as David maintained the public image of a single, rising star. She saw the other women. She saw the future he promised her slipping away through the screen of that burner phone. And then, there was the ultimate complication. Messages suggest Celeste was pregnant. She had been through procedures, used Plan B, and dealt with the weight of an adult crisis while still a child. When she threatened to disclose the truth of their relationship to the world, she wasn't just asking for recognition. She was threatening to burn his empire to the ground. And David, ever the strategist, decided he wouldn't let that happen. April 23rd, 2025. A date that will forever be etched in the annals of Hollywood's most gruesome crimes. David allegedly ordered an Uber to pick Celeste up from her home. He watched her progress on his phone, texting her with the casual tone of a boyfriend waiting for his date. She arrived at his $20,000 a month Hollywood Hills rental at 10:10 p.m. Within 20 minutes, the prosecution believes she was already dead. He didn't just kill her, he reportedly watched her. He stabbed her multiple times and stood there, in the silence of his luxury home, and watched a 14-year-old girl bleed out in a blue inflatable pool. The level of premeditation is what makes this case truly sickening. This wasn't a crime of passion, it was a construction project. The very next day, David wasn't mourning. He was shopping. Using the fake name Victoria Mendez, he allegedly ordered a shovel from Home Depot via Postmates. He ordered 2 chainsaws from Amazon. He ordered body bags and heavy-duty laundry bags. He had turned his garage into a kill room. To keep the blood from staining the floor of his high-end rental, he used that inflatable pool. Investigators later found plastic fragments from that very pool embedded in Celeste's remains. But David's cruelty had a specific focus. He didn't just want to hide the body, he wanted to erase his identity from her skin. Celeste had a tattoo of his name on her ring finger. When her body was eventually recovered from the front trunk of his Tesla, her left ring and pinky fingers were missing. He had amputated them. Those fingers have never been found. The prosecution believes he kept them as trophies or disposed of them separately to ensure no one could link his name to her corpse. While this was happening, David was performing. He was on tour. He moved his Tesla to an impound lot, hoping it would be crushed and his secret would be vaporized. He stepped onto his tour bus and acted as if Celeste Rivas Hernandez never existed. The digital trail he left behind was his ultimate undoing. The text messages asking, "Where are you?" sent hours after he killed her, weren't signs of a worried boyfriend. They were the desperate attempts of a killer trying to build an alibi in real time. He thought he was untouchable. He thought the fame would act as a shield. But the prosecutor, Beth Silverman, is stripping away that shield piece by piece. She has the evidence. She has the explicit photographs. She has the receipts for the tools of dismemberment. The industry whispered about who might have helped him move the car, but the surveillance footage shows David alone, behind the wheel, driving a mobile tomb. What kind of monster orders a chainsaw on Amazon while his victim's body is still warm? This is the question that will haunt the music industry for years. This wasn't just a failure of a man, it was a failure of a system. David's team, his label, his inner circle, did they know? How could a $20,000 mansion become a site of such butchery without a single person hearing a chainsaw? Steve, the lead investigator, found medications in the home prescribed to other people. This suggests David wasn't always alone. If there were others in that house, they are just as guilty of the silence that allowed a 14-year-old girl to be erased. The industry is currently scrambling to distance itself from the name D4VD. Playlists are being scrubbed, deals are being canceled. But the stain of this crime goes deeper than a single artist. It exposes the predatory nature of the prodigy culture. We give young men immense power and wealth before they have a moral compass, and then we act surprised when they use that power to exploit those even younger than themselves. Celeste wasn't a wifey. She was a child. She was an 11-year-old who was groomed, a 13-year-old who was impregnated, and a 14-year-old who was butchered because she became inconvenient to a career. Now, David sits in a cell that smells of rot and neglect. He is in a high-security wing where he is only allowed to shower every other day. No television, no visitors. Just the walls and the weight of what he's done. The music world is in shock, but they shouldn't be. This is what happens when we idolize talent at the expense of character. This is what happens when we ignore the warning signs of grooming because the songs are too good to stop playing. The industry created the monster, and Celeste paid the ultimate price. What comes next is a trial that will pull back the curtain on every person who helped David stay in power. Financial records are being scrutinized, and sources suggest more arrests are coming. The prosecution is looking for everyone who took his money to facilitate this relationship. This isn't just about one man, it's about a culture of silence that protects the check writer and sacrifices the vulnerable. They are looking for the friends who took $1,000 to deliver a phone. They are looking for the associates who turned a blind eye to a middle schooler walking into a Hollywood Hills mansion. The glamour of Hollywood is a lie designed to keep us looking at the lights while the shadows do their work. D4VD was the light, but the shadow he cast was long and lethal. As the legal battle looms, the world is forced to confront a reality where a chart-topping artist is synonymous with a dismembered child. Justice for Celeste is the only melody that matters now. The music has stopped, and the truth is finally screaming through the silence. We are watching the end of a career, but more importantly, we are witnessing the exposure of a soul that was never as beautiful as the songs it sang. The truth isn't just out, it's unavoidable. And Hollywood will never be able to tune this out. The fingers he took, the pool he bought, the child he silenced, it's all there in the evidence lockers. David's secret plan was to protect his career at any cost. But in the end, the very career he killed for is the reason the world is watching his downfall with such intensity. Every stream, every like, and every fan who once cheered for him is now a witness to his disgrace. The boy who sang about heartbreak has left the world with a broken heart that can never be mended. There is no encore for a killer. There is only the long, dark road to a life sentence, and the hope that Celeste Rivas Hernandez can finally rest in a peace she was never allowed in life.